Hello, sweeties! Look, I'm not saying all the news is good, but in weird times like this, we take what we can get. So, as I was saying, the good news is that the communication planet is back on track today, which means you can now have a good old-fashioned argument without the threat of imminent death. And the taxi drivers will be, slightly more reasonable, we hope. And the passion planets are looking good too. And if you're feeling really brave, you can use these energies to start making money, huge money. But you'll have to be willing to take a few teeny risks, slightly scary stuff. Thanks for listening to Astrology with Linda Shaw. Don't forget to subscribe, it's free, and press the bell thing, you'll be sent reminders. That's enough of that, let's get to the stars. Cancer, my neurotic little watermelon, what a fabulous week this is. So, what would you like? You have only to ask. The planets are lined up waiting to adore you, feed you grapes, send you on gorgeous little adventures. Thursday is probably the best day for transforming your life. And the only real snag, if there is one, is that you run out of confidence. It's not that unusual. When you get battered about by life, you start believing there's something wrong with you, which of course there isn't. The universe is just testing you, checking that you're still powerful and still determined. Ignore all that and keep going. This stuff is only temporary. Tell yourself you deserve the best of everything, and pretty soon you'll believe it. Money picks up early next week. Love, you'll have to work on. And for now, indulge in your fabulousness. That's it for Cancer. Leo, my fluffy little koala bear, are you in a better mood now? Or are you wondering whether those old boogeymen are back for another look? Well, if they are, it's just to say a final farewell, to old childhood wounds, all those ridiculous expectations you have of yourself and everyone else. So once you put all that lot down, you can get back to life as we know it, which actually is improving slightly. Love and money are moving along fairly swimmingly. The communication planet is back on track, so there'll be a few really interesting offers coming in. Now you'll just have to look for ways to expand those fabulous energies. Maybe buy a lotto ticket or find ways to increase your network. Things are going well. Or they soon will be, very soon. Enjoy. That's it for Leo. Virgo, my little bunny rabbit. Your planet moves forward today after 3 endless weeks of tripping you up and playing games with your head. So take a break for a couple of days and then you'll be raring to go again. Which will be huge fun because that fabulously romantic spirit you were hiding, or you thought you were hiding, it's sneaking out for another look. We are looking at a completely different approach to love. When you actually admit to being human and even, God forbid, vulnerable, this is an excellent move. You're finally discovering that you're not alone and that there are people you can trust. Of course, it hasn't been that great at work, but at least you have stuff to keep you busy. If you're arguing with anyone, apologize. It's easier. That's it for Virgo. Libra, my deranged little poodle. It's true that communications have been very weird for a while, which means you probably bumped into an old lover or had a stupid fight with one of your friends. No point making a big deal out of it. You might just as well apologize, even if you don't think you did anything, and move on. The planets are back on track today, and you can start a whole new cycle in a much better mood. And this time you'll do it differently. Remember, you don't ever have to beg anyone to love you. You love yourself quite enough to be going on with. Slightly better news is that established contacts will be more available and offers will be more interesting. Remember to finish the old stuff before starting the new, which is already on its way. That's it for Libra. Scorpio, my fabulous little raspberry, what's going on here? The problem with you is you're living in the past. All those old fears and weird habits are coming back to haunt you, and suddenly you're paralyzed. Now, just think for a moment. How much dead wood are you actually carrying? How many of your problems are not really yours at all? This is definitely time to make a new plan. There always is one. Hold on to your sanity so you can take an entirely different look at love, just for a start. You'll find new ways to relate, ways that are much more fun and far less exhausting. But that means total honesty, of course, not your favorite. But wouldn't it be a relief to actually trust someone? In fact, that's one of the Buddhist tests for enlightenment. Trust someone you have no reason to trust. Give it a bash. That's it for Scorpio. Sagittarius, my little lamb chop, this is a very good week for you, or it will be once you get your act together. For some reason, you need problems and difficulties to get you up off your butt. It's a strange thing. But now that you're battling, you're starting to show your true colors and you're winning, especially in love, which is vastly improved now that the communication planet is moving forward. Yay! But even better, depending on your point of view, obviously, new projects are taking off with virtually guaranteed success. You're about to start doing really well. Of course, you'll probably have to rethink the budget, but that's nothing new, and you'll get plenty of support. Just keep your work dramas out of the bedroom. Two separate things. That's it for Sagittarius. Capricorn, my adorable little Labrador, this is one of those weeks when everyone loves you. So much so, in fact, that they're probably giving you awards or sending you flowers. So, how about making yourself available to your fans? That ridiculous fear of rejection and, of course, contamination has turned you into a complete hermit, and frankly, the planets have had enough. The pressure is off at work now, and your love life is still making up its mind, so get on your hat and coat and go have some tea with actual people. The point is, unless you speak to other human beings, you always have the same thoughts going round and round in your head with no one to tell you that you're losing the plot. You've spent enough time redefining yourself. Now get out there and show them what you've got. That's it for Capricorn. Aquarius, my fabulous little leprechaun. Have you been predicting disaster again? Look, you live in a world of duality. There will always be disaster and there will always be magic. It just depends where you focus your attention. So start this week by expecting a miracle. You won't be disappointed. Meanwhile, tread very carefully around your co-workers. The planets are almost back on track, but not completely. So although you won't see it till later, you're not really getting your point across. Best to say as little as possible for now, until maybe you've run your fabulous new ideas past an unbiased friend. Meanwhile, how about some potentially unwanted amorous attention, or maybe not so unwanted? This could be fun. It's about time you rediscovered your sex life. Get wicked! That's it for Aquarius. Pisces, my gorgeous little goldfish, are you having a weird time? Suicidal one minute and jumping around like a loony the next. It's not entirely surprising. The planets are all over the place and you're so gosh darn sensitive you react to every tiny shift in the universe, which is not actually much help to anyone. So how about using these amazing energies to dig up your creative side and make something fabulous happen? The truth is, opportunities are popping up all over the place, amazingly. And you're sitting on your butt, waiting for someone to fix your life. How about seducing someone gorgeous? That'll give you the confidence you need to turn yourself into a billionaire. It's not impossible. In fact, right now, you've got the planets exactly where you want them. That's it for Pisces. Aries, my delicious little fruit basket, it's all happening. The planets have changed direction, leaving you spinning on the spot. It's called a perspective change. And strangely, there's no better way to get a really good look at the other half of yourself. Look out for a few spiritual lessons, all designed to give you another look at your morals and values, but then you'll also get an opportunity to make a huge wad of cash. Morals and money work really well together, as long as you're doing the best you can for everyone concerned. And don't pay any attention to the haters. They're always around and they have nothing to do with you. Oh, and don't fret about the sudden social phobia. That old razzle-dazzle will be back as soon as the time is right. That's it for Aries. Taurus, my fabulous little nutcase. It's not your fault. You're usually so calm, such a natural leader, and now you've got the planets of sudden and dramatic change sitting on your face. What are you supposed to do with that? The problem, of course, is that you're much more comfortable when you're in charge of every breath, but that's not going to happen. So start slowly changing your life, preferably with the love life, which is decidedly frayed at the edges. Of course, you could always sit about waiting for someone else to fix it, or you could stop hoping that someone's going to read your mind, which is amazingly highly unlikely, and do your best to understand their hearts. You can do this. Money and business are relatively fine for now. It's time to get emotional and maybe even a little vulnerable. Yikes! That's it for Taurus. Gemini, my adorable little kangaroo. Just because you hate to appear vulnerable doesn't mean you never are. So it's enough with that defensive, nobody understands me rubbish, even though you're probably quite right. But that's just because you're such a loony, and everyone's wondering when the real you is going to emerge. Well, here's one thing. The planets that stole your sanity have just come home, today in fact, which means you can once again use the logic as well as the instincts. This is not a good reason to start mistrusting everyone you meet either. It is an excellent reason to start trusting yourself. So when a really delicious opportunity pops up this week, grab it with both hands and move forward with enthusiasm. That's it for Gemini. Thank you, you fabulous creatures, for listening to Astrology with Linda Shaw. This is the perfect time to start believing in your own magic and to make something wonderful happen. So whenever you're out there in the world, protect yourself in a bubble of silver light and ask the angels to help you. And keep smiling, even if you don't feel like it. Smiling changes your vibration. Give it a bash. Now, if you'd like to subscribe, just press the button thing. It's free. And have a great week. Remind yourself every 5 seconds just how amazing you are. Give yourself permission to succeed. It's important. Bye now.